welcome to another episode of our ContinuousX Podcast, where we try to solve for X in the SDLC equation. I'm your host, Rick Stewart. I'm joined always by my co-host, Mike Fitzurka. Our guest today is Brian Hajost, Chief Operating Officer at SteelCloud, a company that is a pioneer in providing technology for compliance in both commercial and the public sector. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And we're going to jump right into our first question, our major question for this episode. Our audience is familiar with the current administration's executive order on cybersecurity, which mandates, among other things, a software bill of materials, or what's commonly called a SBOM. But what is the CBOM, a compliance bill of materials, and how does it differ from an SBOM? And more importantly, what problem does it address?
Well, both an SBOM and a CBOM have BOM in their name. BOM is a bill of materials or a list of things. Mm-hmm. So if we back up and look at the problem, currently the authorization and auditing function within organizations and the operation function within organizations are somewhat disconnected. A lot of work takes place in the RMF and authorization or ATO process. Books are written, decisions are made, and then the application goes into production and they kind of do what they want. And so there's no direct connection. So we're not driving a specification into the production area. And more importantly, then the production area, when they give results back to the ANA folks, it's a different format with different results. So a CBOM, in the most simplest sense, is a list of the machine controls that can be scanned or remediated that are created in the ATO or RMF process and are driven into production so that we're enforcing the controls. Mm-hmm. The benefit is that RMF creates the bill of compliance controls that's driven into production, and the production reports back to the ANA function exactly what they were supposed to do. So it creates a 360-degree loop, closed loop between authorization and operations. And that's really what the CBOM is meant to do.
And for those of our viewers, the RMF is the risk management framework, which has been adopted as the framework of choice for obviously managing risk within the public sector.
Right on the title. I've always heard, that compliance is not security. That's an old adage. And so when you're talking about compliance management, how is that related to the security management or security management?
Well, compliance absolutely is security. Every compliance control can be mapped back to NIST 853, but I think the real meaning of the adage is compliance doesn't mean that you are secure. So Compliance is a foundation. It should be the easiest thing to set. The rules that an organization chooses for themselves. They should set through automation, hopefully close to total automation. And that is the foundation where all of the other, whether it's antivirus, threat hunting, intrusion detection, prevention, all of the other layers of security are layered onto the foundation. So, and sometimes, the thought is that compliance is somewhat separate from cybersecurity, and when in fact, they're exactly the same. It's just the foundation. It's the bottom layer that the rest is built on.
Terrific, Brian. Thank you. That'll about do it for this episode. Thanks to our viewers, and special thanks for Brian for imparting great information. Join us for our next episode where Brian will explain implicit versus explicit compliance.